The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Rule. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the island of Grand Bahama, the scene of yet another homicide, pushing the murder count on this northern island to 6 for the year. Police say this latest incident appears to have been a home invasion gone wrong, resulting in the death of the brother of the homeowner. Sean Davis-Roll has our top story.
This latest homicide taking police investigators to an area of Freeport known as Over the Bridge, to a palatial canal front home which sits on several acres of land and where police say a crime involving violence.
While at home, 3 male broken into their residence. One was allegedly armed with a handgun and the other armed with a machete. Robbed the occupants of the home.
And death unfolded.
An altercation occurred between one of the assailants and one of the occupant of the home, which resulted in the occupant, who was a male Caucasian, being fatally shot.
According to reports, a tragic incident which involved 3 masked men occurred at about 7:30 Tuesday morning. But the police say they were not alerted about the ordeal until 2 hours later at 9:30 a.m. Officers were seen at strategic points surrounding the perimeter of the densely populated area. As more investigators, including medical officials led by pathologist Dr. Mandy Pettican, moved in, the media was kept at bay, first at a relatively close proximity to the home, but then the crime tape was extended, pushing members of the press further away. As the police searched for clues, family members and friends, one of whom had the beacon sold, began turning up, only to be turned away. Hours later, a hearse arrived, and less than half an hour, it departed. This latest homicide marks the 4th in 2 weeks, something police officials describe as unprecedented, hence they're making this appeal.
The appeal that we are sending to the residents of Grand Bahama, to be vigilant, to be very, very careful, and to be observant of your surroundings, and to secure your premises. Any abnormal activity around your home, call us, report the incident to us so we can come and check it out. But anything that's abnormal, call the police and be vigilant.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Well, today's murder is the 4th in just over a week. Last week, the Garden Villas community was the scene of 2 fatal shootings just hours apart. Last night, the Reach Out organization and a number of social partners combining resources to spread a message of peace to that area commonly called the ghetto. Coordinator Dudley Said, along with several pastors and other concerned citizens, assembled to discourage crime and violence and to call for conflict resolution. Youth leader out of Nassau, Carlos Reed, was one of the speakers at the event.
Because for far too long, Freeport and other family islands believe that we concentrate so much on Nassau and not on Freeport and other family islands. So we thought it from the Ministry of National Security standpoint to come down here to let us know that we're concerned about what's going on down here. The main focus in us coming down here is that we don't want Freeport to get the way Nassau is. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure that don't happen. Parents need to stop being parents. Parent your children. Parent your children. Fathers father your children. Mothers be mothers to your children. God didn't call you to be friends. They called you to be parents. Be parents. The average gang person, they join the gang because they're looking for the attributes that you should be able to get in the normal family. Give them what they need and you ain't gonna have to worry about them going in the gangs.
Pastor Simeon Oughton was one of the many pastors giving support to the Peace Initiative. He and coordinator Dudley Said have pledged to take the peace message to other areas of the island.
Knowing what is going on here, Freeport in the ghetto, I had no other choice but to come and show my support and to let this community know that I'm standing with them, and we are not interested in that type of activity that has occurred a few weeks ago where we lost 2 of our young men, and now we have more than 2 because a few have just been charged before the courts with those murders. And so we are here to let Garden Villas know that we are a part of them, and we feel their pain, and we want to help them, bring them out of those circumstances and situations that they find themselves in.
There's a lot of young kids, families in the Garden Villas community today. It's what a blessing. It did my heart well. I was fasting and praying for God's blessings, and today is a wonderful day. We speak life in the Garden Villas community, so it's a beautiful time to see pastors from the Catholic, Baptists, all different churches here today, Pastor Simeon, all different pastors here today, just to let the guys know that we care about them and we let them know there's peace in Grand Bahama. That's why we're here today.
In other news, a 30-year-old man of 8 Mile Rock, Grand Bahama is in police custody after he was reportedly found in possession of illegal firearms and ammunition. The arrest taking place around 4 p.m. yesterday when DEU officers acting on information went to Graveyard Corner in 8 Mile Rock, where they searched a mail and discovered a .38 special revolver with 3 live rounds of ammunition. Police say investigations are continuing. Also in news this evening, ZNS News called to the scene of an apparent accident downtown this afternoon. When our news team arrived on the scene, we met a police motorcyclist lying on the ground. Reports say he may have been pursuing a vehicle when he fell off. A large number of onlookers were on the scene, outraged that there was a delay in medical attention for the officer. The traffic cop was taken to hospital. Reports say his injuries are not life-threatening. Now, we were unable to confirm with police officials the actual details surrounding the apparent incident, but police officials say investigations are continuing into this matter. And 6 Cuban men rescued at sea and brought to Grand Bahama yesterday. Reports tell us that the men were on their way to Miami, having left Cuba on Friday in a small boat, but they were intercepted by a U.S. Coast Guard ship on Sunday just off the Key Sal Bank. The Cuban migrants were turned over to the Defense Force around 5 o'clock yesterday afternoon, brought to Freeport and handed over to immigration officials. The migrants are currently being processed and will be transported to the nation's capital to the detention center. A local member of parliament taking issue with the situation in a government housing subdivision. He is questioning why so many government homes have been languishing for months when hundreds of Bahamians have applied to become homeowners. Sabrina Brown has the details.
Member of Parliament for Central Grand Bahama Nico Grant says he's concerned that some 20 houses in the Wellington Pender Heights subdivision in Hawksville have been completed for more than 2 years, but they're still not occupied.
You would note that the pine trees are growing up through a number of them. Many of them have been vandalized and the carpet thieves have struck, taking out all the wiring. The question I posed this morning is, why are these houses unoccupied? You can see we're standing on a well-paved road. You can see power has been connected to a number of the houses, and there's definitely water available.
Grant says he finds this situation troubling as the Ministry of Housing has thousands of applicants waiting for homes.
With over 3,000 applicants on file, can we not find 20 persons that qualified? It is unacceptable, and it is a national disgrace that we've got 20 houses in this development that are unoccupied, haven't been completed for over 2 years, and it deserves an explanation.
Wilfred Bevins is one of the contractors for the Wellington Pender subdivision. He says the situation will only cost the government more money.
Definitely you will have to do some serious inspection, and I know you have to go all through that electrical inspection again and repairing windows and doors, and you probably have to replace toilets. If I were in that position, I would say just give some people papers to move in, and they pay rent until they are qualified to meet their mortgage.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Now, we contacted office manager at the Department of Housing on Grand Bahama, Mary Mizik, who confirmed that there are a lot of applications for homes on file. However, she said due to the sluggish economy, many of the applicants have not been able to qualify. Nonetheless, she said some of those homes have already been assigned to persons who did qualify, but there is a lengthy process that has to be completed before the homes are occupied. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Coalition of Concerned Citizens taking the fight for a reduction in the cost of electricity to a new level. The coalition is now looking at the use of solar energy as a means to bring some relief to consumers this evening. The coalition will be staging another rally at the KFC parking lot downtown to provide more information to consumers on solar energy systems that are available for secondary alternative power systems. Organizers say during the rally there will also be a demonstration of inverter technology. Members of of the coalition have met on at least 2 occasions with management of the Grand Bahama Power Company to appeal for lower rates and have since established a hotline to help determine the amount of persons living without electricity on Grand Bahama. Well, meantime, the Grand Bahama Power Company officials maintain that local rates are among the lowest in the region. A local civic organization making life a little bit easier for some special children in our midst. The Rotary Club of Lucaya commissioning a playground today for the students of the Beacon School. Megan Shepard has the story.
The erection of the Stephen Dillett playing field progressing smoothly at the Beacon School. It all began as an idea to help students in wheelchairs and in need of assistance in moving around with a safe and comfortable environment to play. In the past months, the equipment have been deteriorating and the grounds were extremely rocky. President of the Rotary Club of Lucaya says the group is now making steady progress thanks to fundraisers and corporate sponsorship.
We're about to, in the next few weeks, install all of the equipment for the playground, and to have the equipment installed we have to first bring the ground up to park, so we put in some retainer wall thanks to Gold Rock, and we fill it in. Wall Construction is assisting us with that, and then of course we had to make sure the fencing for security is in place, and so that's what we're doing here today, preparing the grounds for the installation of the playground equipment.
President-elect and project manager Clifford Bowe says that the momentum and excitement level is high amongst club members.
As a project manager, I saw this from the beginning to where we're at now, and the level of excitement is, I can't explain where it is. I mean, everybody is really overjoyed with the progress so far. To see that, the club was able to raise the ground here from, for about, I think it was approximately 3 feet, and the amount of dirt and fill that came in here to ensure that as the children traveled from the school onto the playground, no one would get injured. And to actually see, where we're at this point, we're very pleased, and we realize that the project will finish on time, a little over budget, but it'll finish on time, and everybody's excited. It's true service above self.
Now, principal of the Beacon School, Miriam Sweeting, says the students are just as excited for the new playing field, kiddie playground, and Serenity Garden.
Well, I'm so thrilled. As a matter of fact, the whole Beacon School family, they're thrilled. Parents are also thrilled. They can't wait for this to be completed. Every day they come, they try to get very, very close to see what's happening. They're excited about the big trucks coming in, all of the equipment. And, we explain to them, hey, safety. But guess what? Very shortly, this would be all yours. You'll have free range to just go and enjoy yourselves.
Club member Karen Clark says they have also put measures in place to ensure the upkeep of the grounds in the years to come.
I think what makes me so excited is that it's going to happen within Billy's year, that is going to help hundreds and hundreds of children going forward. We even have people in place for the years ahead that will come and make sure things are maintained so that they don't fall apart.
The Rotary Club of Lucaya also facilitated the painting of the school, new fencing, and a Serenity Garden to keep the memory of students and teachers that have passed on. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, it's all about skills this summer as the Sir Charles Hayward Library hosts its annual camp for 5 weeks, focusing on skills training and preparing youngsters for the world of business. Registration for the camp commences on May 5th for students 5 through 15, and the activities will kick off on June 30th. Director at the library, Geneva Rutherford, says based on the activities, participants can expect to learn a new set of skills each week.
We're hoping from this summer camp that we could engender the love of certain skills that students, young as they are, may want to pursue. Boat building then will be offered for 2 weeks. We also have, and we are very pleased to say this, partnering with the Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation, seeking sponsorship for a 3-week assistance program, teaching straw craft for 1 week, crocheting for 1 week, and jewelry making for a week.
She says the skills training will also include basic hand sewing, the Junior Red Cross program, gardening, and computer skills. The Ministry of Tourism will be offering its Junior Tourism Ambassador program, and BAIC will assist with the handicraft events.
The camp's theme it's all about skills, I thought was very timely, because you have children who really don't know what is plat, what is top, the various types of tops. There is a market for platters of top. It's not being tapped into. So we want to bring awareness and encourage especially our young, budding entrepreneurs to introduce them to this market that's very profitable.
We will use that opportunity to highlight information and events that will take the 13 and 15-year-olds through a journey of 50 years of tourism development in the Bahamas, and particularly Grand Bahama. This being our 50th anniversary of the Tourism Act, we want to incorporate this very important milestone into everything that we do on Grand Bahama Island. At the end of the program, the youth will receive a certificate of completion as well as a badge.
The month of April is being observed as Child Protection Month. With that in mind, the Department of Social Services here on Grand Bahama has launched an aggressive campaign to the wider community on abuse and its effects. Chief Welfare Officer Pauline Bowen-Forbes says the department will speak with school students during assembly time on various issues, as well as conduct a walkabout throughout the Grand Bahama community.
We will also be looking at the continuation of speaking to students at the school. We also want to be able to target especially the older children. And further down, we want to be able to look at going door to door to reach out to persons in the community. We'll be able to walk through various communities such as the Garden Villas areas, Adventures Way. We'll be able to go through all those particular corners, Bruce Lane, all those corners within those areas. And we want to be able to knock on every person's door to be able to share with them what exactly what protection of our children is all about. We also want to be able to sensitize them as it relates to the various types of abuse that sometimes persons don't even realize that they're abusing their child.
Chief Welfare Officer Fran Bright says this year the department will not just limit discussions to abuse.
As a spin-off from abuse, we know that it affects the children as they grow up, and they have a skewed view of what a relationship or quote-unquote normal relationship is like. We thought this year that we should target the teenagers coming out, the 11th and 12th graders, because they're now forming relationships. And so we want to show them what is acceptable from what is not acceptable, to recognize cues that would affect or they should see as red flags that is not considered normal behavior.
Well, this month, the social services will also distribute flyers on child abuse, participate in a number of workshops, as well as host a luncheon to honor foster and house parents. This morning, they held a cyberbullying seminar with high school students on the island. And that's a look at stories making news at the hour. Stay with us. Ricardo Leiborn has a check on sports when we return.
Everybody, it's Sports Time. I'm Ricardo Lightman. As well goes out to the folks over there in Grand Key getting ready for a homecoming. Yes, it's going to be rocking and rolling. Well, the Grand Bahama Flag Football League open its new season Sunday at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. Freeport Container Port Lady Stalkers over the ISS Marines 28-18. Now the Sharkers and the Eagles opened up the league. Here's how they play. The ladies started the season off with the MLM Eagles meeting the B&B Galaxy Sharkers, and this was a Sharker from the first play. The Eagles utilizing the pass and some good rotation off the plays. Guess what? Jitters on opening day. It was evident. The Sharkers on offense. B&B Galaxy going to the ground game and looking to make an opening day statement. The Sharkers looking for the air game and some good looks, but the receivers, nothing cooking yet. The B&B Galaxy went into the playbook and pulled out a flea flicker. Only one thing this year is that you got to complete the pass. Intercepted. Wow, tough break. The Lady Eagles went back to the ground game and rolled up some positive yards. The Eagles shut out the Sharkers 20-zip, and the Sharkers are looking at this one at the Plex. The Brad's Cruisers and the GB Shipyard Wreckers on the gridiron opening day. The Cruisers tested the Wreckers' defense and opened up with the secondary some good looks and good catches. If it's working, keep using it for the Cruisers. The high snap, but watch the throw and good concentration by the tight end. That's a Brad's first down. First down and looking for more. The Wreckers went back to the pass. This time the Wreckers were sleeping on the quarterback and the interception. A good game for opening day as the Grand Bahama Shipyard Wreckers won at 8-6. In other men's scores, Playtime Sports Invaders 9, the High Rock Stingers 6. The Sands Bears grounded the Boca Oilers 18-6. Freeport Alliance shutting out the Westminster Runners 18-0. Well, folks, Deepwater Key Resort set a new fly fishing record. American Jim Easterling of Texas caught a record 14.5-pound bonefish during a stay there at Deepwater Key Lodge, the largest fish for Jim at Deepwater Key during the stay. He also caught a 10.5-pounder and a 9-pounder. And also, guess what? He simply said it was great. Also, fishing guide at Deepwater Key, Miko Glinton, also showing off the record-setting bonefish. Deepwater Key guides also providing the ultimate experience for those guys over there. That's a good-sized bonefish right there. Well, high school soccer season is heating up, folks, and the girls are holding their own. The Falcons and Jaguars, just an example. High school soccer play in the Arthur Paris Mary Nab League with the girls on the soccer pitch. The Tabernacle Falcons took on the St. George's Jaguars and a tussle from the opening kickoff. The Falcons keeping the pressure on the junior Jaguars, and the results are positive. The Falcons got on the scoreboard on a penalty kick. The Jaguars goalie got caught off guard. The Jaguars tried to get back in the game with some pressure on the ball, but the Falcons gave no ground. The Jaguars had an opportunity here to get on the scoreboard. Again, the Jaguars failed to capitalize on this opportunity. The Tabernacle Falcons gave no quarter and took the action right to the Jaguars. The goalie got crossed up, and Tabernacle came away with a 2-0 win. In other games, Lucana National defeated BMES 7-1. Sister Mary Patricia Russell outscoring St. Paul's 1-0. Turn attention now to the boys. The Bishop Michael Eldon Warriors closed out the Igmorok Blue Jays 5-0 in senior boys play. St. George's Junior Boys and Igmorok played to a scoreless draw. Bishop Michael Eldon closed out Catholic High 4-0. Tabernacle Senior Boys shutting out St. Paul's 4-0. St. George with a 2-0 win over Igmorok, and the Bishop Michael Eldon Warriors outscoring Catholic High 8-0. And the Peace Gathering and Basketball Jam was held in the Garden Villas Court, folks. Columbus Park Junior Boys defeating Hudson Estates 26-20. Pioneers Loop held off the Ghetto Cutters 18-16. Freeport Bible topping Igmorok 24-20. And the senior division, the Ghetto Cutters cutting down the Urban Police 36-12. The Ghetto Cutters defeated the Youth Pastors 34-28. Luther Junior Baseball League of Rock Sound completing Week 9 of play. Tarpon Bay Nippers over the Rock Sound Sea Grapes 20-9 in T-ball. In the minor division, the Rock Sound Marlins defeated the Green Castle Dragons 16-3. Marlins also defeating the Tarpon Bay Tarpons 33-2, and also remain undefeated 6-0. Jonathan Hall got the win, hit a home run, a triple, and 6 RBIs. The loss goes to Ronaldo Hunt. The junior play, Rock Sound Stingrays outscored the Tarpon Bay Agers 7-9-7. Jonathan Brown got the win. The loss goes to Lance Panacanos. Those guys had some fun. And I got to say to my good friend Tappy over there at Behavior Services, who has been sniffing the gas in the tool shed. He believes that the Miami Dolphins is going to be going to any kind of playoffs in the AFC East. Stay off the gas, buddy. It's not good for you.